Hey everybody, Dylan here. And it seems like over the past few years, a lot of the backpacking community has called on to go in ultralight or trying to lighten their backpack in some way. But one of the most common misconceptions I see on the internet is that going ultralight or dropping weight in your pack has to be expensive. Now don't get me wrong, there's a lot of expensive ultralight backpacking gear out there. We've got $500 backpacks, $700 tents, but there's still a lot of upgrades you can do that are cheap or even free. So today I want to go over 12 cheap or free ultralight upgrades to help you drop weight in your backpack. So without further ado, let's dive in. So upgrade number one is going to be to swap out your water bottles. Don't get me wrong, I'm a sucker for a good Nalgene. I'm even drinking out of one right now, but these are just too heavy for the trail. Probably the most popular option, it's definitely the cheapest and the lightest, is to go with a single-use water bottle like a Smart Water bottle or a Life water bottle. These Smart Water bottles are super popular amongst thru hikers and long-distance backpackers because they're cheap, they're durable, and they're super easy to replace. So your 1 liter Smart Water bottle is going to cost less than $5 at any gas station or any grocery store. This is going to weigh about an ounce, which is going to save you around 5 or even more ounces from a Nalgene or a traditional water bottle. Now, if you don't want to use a single-use water bottle, a lot of great options have come out this year. So just a few weeks ago, I picked up this Nobo bottle by Igneous. I got this off of Garage Grown Gear for like $20, and it weighs about 2 ounces. So this Nobo bottle is going to cost about the same as a Nalgene, but it's only 2 ounces, so it's lighter. And then another great option, I know CNOC Outdoors just came out with their through bottle, which is also, I think it's around $12, and it still weighs less than that Nalgene. And then a bonus perk of using like a Smart Water bottle or the Nobo or even the through bottle by CNOC is that all of these are compatible with water filters like the Sawyer Squeeze or the Platypus Quick Draw. So that's just a bonus on top of being lighter or even cheaper. So honestly, I think these water bottles are better in every way than a Nalgene or your typical water bottle. So for that reason, upgrade number one is to swap out your water bottles. Upgrade number two is going to be to reduce your first aid kit. So I think when most backpackers start out, they go to REI or they go to Walmart and they buy a ready-to-go first aid kit right off the shelf. The problem with those ready-to-go first aid kits is that 1, they're too heavy, 2, there's a lot of unnecessary items in there, and 3, most hikers don't even know how to use some of the items in that first aid kit. So what I would recommend is to dive into your first aid kit and only bring what you know how to use. I also think these first aid kits have way too much of each item, so you'll have like 100 Band-Aids in your first aid kit or 50 ibuprofen pills, and you typically don't need that much. So I would say just dive into your first aid kit and reduce the number of items. Just make sure you're not bringing too much. So this is my first aid kit. It's just really condensed. I've got everything I need in here and nothing that I don't. I'm gonna leave a link to my lighter pack in the description, and that shows everything that I bring in here. But it's just a really simple kit. I've got like painkillers, allergy medicine, tweezers, Leukotape, just really basic stuff. And you wanna bring enough in your first aid kit to stay safe. You just don't wanna bring unnecessary things and things you don't know how to use. So upgrade number 3 to lighten your backpack is gonna be to use Ziploc bags. So I think a lot of people, when they start going ultralight, they get the bug and they go on ultralight gear websites and start buying a lot of ultralight expensive pouches. If you watch this channel, you know that I'm not a fan of stuff sacks or pouches like this in general. They do have their place in my kit, but overall I try to avoid them as much as possible. But if you do need a zip pouch or a stuff sack for your backpack, you don't have to go spend $30 on a Dyneema stuff sack. So just as an example, this pack is made out of EcoPack. This was close to $30 and weighs about an ounce. And this quart Ziploc bag is less than $1. It weighs less than the pouch I just showed you. It's also water resistant, and if you break it, it's not a big deal, you can replace it. So don't feel like you've got to go spend 25 or 30 bucks on a Dyneema stuff sack or pouch. Just go in your pantry, get you a Ziploc bag, and it's gonna work just fine. So upgrade number 4 that you can do to lighten your backpack cheaply is to upgrade your cook system. This category is fantastic because there's a few items you can upgrade that'll help you lighten your pack. First is gonna be to upgrade your stove. So I know a lot of people use like a Jetboil or like a MSR Pocket Rocket. Those are really good stoves, but the lightest and cheapest option is gonna be the BRS 3000. So tons of thru hikers and backpackers are using this stove. It's cheap at less than $20. I think it's $16.99 on Amazon. This stove is proved to be reliable for tons of thru hikers and backpackers, and it weighs less than an ounce. This thing weighs 0.9 ounces. So for less than 20 bucks, you can upgrade your stove and get one that weighs less than an ounce. So I highly recommend the BRS 3000. So item number 2 that you can upgrade in your cook system is gonna be your pot. So this is the Toaks 750 ml pot. This is a super popular option amongst backpackers. So this costs around 25 bucks and weighs just over 3 ounces. I know Totes has a lot of other size options. There's a lot of other titanium pots on Amazon and other websites. And upgrading your pot can help you save a good bit of weight in your cook system. And the third item you can upgrade in your cook system is gonna be your spoon. So these are super popular amongst backpackers. So any titanium spoon or spork is gonna work. This is from the brand Kuvik, K-U-V-I-K. I got it off of Amazon for $7 and it weighs 0.5 ounces. I know Totes makes a version and several other brands do, but honestly, as long as you go with a titanium spoon or spork or anything like that, you're gonna be fine. So between upgrading your stove, your pot, and your spoon, I think there's a lot of weight that can be saved in your cook system, so that's gonna be upgrade number 4. Tip number 5 is gonna be super simple. Trim unnecessary tags and straps from your gear. Now, I wanna say, don't overdo it. Don't cut things that are necessary on your pack, but there's a lot of things that I find are unnecessary on my packs and on my gear that can be trimmed to save weight. So for example, my Hyperlight Southwest had a compartment in the back for a water bladder. I never use water bladders. I know I'm not that guy, so I cut that out of my Hyperlight pack and that saved me around 3 or 4 ounces. Also, when I was still using packs with brains, I knew I was never gonna use that, so I would always cut the brain off the top of my packs. And this also goes for clothing or sleeping bags or anything that's got tags on it. If you don't need the tag for instructions or anything like that, I would just cut it off. It's just unnecessary weight. So tip number 5 is super simple. Cut any unnecessary tags or straps or anything like that from your gear. Ultralight upgrade number 6 is gonna be to upgrade your multi-tool. So I know tons of backpackers that carry bulky, heavy, completely overkill knives or multi-tools. So instead of carrying something that's bulky and heavy and overkill, I carry this instead. So this is the Victorinox Classic SD Swiss Army knife. I mean, this thing is super tiny. It's cheap at $24, I believe. It weighs 0.7 ounces, and it does really everything I needed to do on trail. So this multi-tool has tons of great features. So we've got scissors, we've got a knife, obviously, a file, a screwdriver, and a toothpick. And I don't ever see a situation on trail where I'm gonna need anything more than this. So Ultralight upgrade number 6 is gonna be upgrade your multi-tool to the Victorinox Classic SD Swiss Army knife. Moving right along, upgrade number 7 is to upgrade to Ultralight tent stakes. So I know starting out, most backpackers have tent stakes that are just unnecessarily heavy. Those heavy stakes are typically gonna come with the tent when you buy them, but for 20 or 30 bucks, you can buy a whole set of Ultralight tent stakes. So right now I'm carrying 2 types of Ultralight tent stakes. My first one is the MSR Mini Groundhog. So these are $5 a piece and weigh 0.35 ounces. I use the Mini Groundhogs for like my main tie out points. And then the second type of stake I use is the Vargo Titanium Shepherd Hook. These are like $4 a piece and weigh 0.3 ounces. So I'm carrying 8 stakes in this bag. So for like $30, I've got a whole set of Ultralight tent stakes. So if you're still carrying around those heavy tent stakes that came with your tent, I highly recommend dropping 20 or 30 bucks, get you a set of Ultralight tent stakes. So tip number 8 is gonna be to upgrade your headlamp. So I know a lot of backpackers starting out go to REI or go to Walmart and they pick up a headlamp like this. So this has got a thick strap on it and it's typically charged by batteries. Instead, I would recommend switching to something like this. So this is the Nitecore NU20 Classic. Instead of the thick strap on the headband like this, we've got this nice stretchy cord, which saves a lot of weight. Also, this headlamp is charged by a USB-C cable, so no more carrying around batteries. So you can pick up one of these Nitecore NU20 Classics for like 25 bucks. They're lightweight, they're bright, they're rechargeable, reliable, and I really recommend this much more than the traditional battery-powered headlamp. There's a lot of great options out there. Nitecore has some different models, but the point is, for 25 or 30 bucks, you can ditch this old, bulky, heavy headlamp and get you something like this. Ultralight upgrade number 9 is gonna be to repackage everything. So I'm a huge fan of only bringing what you need for your specific trip. So for example, if I'm going on a 4-day backpacking trip, I don't need this much bug spray. Instead, I'm only gonna bring this much. This same principle is across the board in everything in my backpacking kit. So instead of bringing this much ibuprofen, I'm only gonna bring this much. Or instead of bringing this much hand sanitizer, I'm only gonna bring this much. So you can get really creative with this, but I would just say analyze everything in your backpacking kit, see what you can repackage. That's gonna save you space and also weight. So kind of piggybacking off of that, tip number 10 is gonna be to replace big items with smaller versions. So for example, if I'm going on a short weekend backpacking trip, I definitely don't need to bring 18 wipes. maybe I can get away with bringing only 6. And also, I would never hit the trail with a full tube of toothpaste. I would bring either a travel size version or even toothpaste tabs. You can apply this principle to multiple things in your backpacking kit, everything from lighters to your toilet paper and everything in between. The point is, don't bring too much stuff. Only bring what you need for your trip to be safe and to enjoy it. Ultralight upgrade number 11 is gonna be to ditch the dry bags and get a pack liner. We all know that keeping your backpack waterproof is super important, but you don't need 10 or 12 dry bags in your bag. Instead, just get a pack liner. This one is Fume. You can also use trash compactor bags and even just a trash bag. But I got this pack liner for $2 when I was checking out at Garage Grown Gear, and it weighs 0.9 ounces. So Ultralight upgrade number 11, ditch all those dry bags, get a pack liner. That can save you several ounces and keep your gear just as dry. And my final tip, upgrade number 12, is probably the most important, is to practice minimalism and leave things at home. I love the saying, it costs $0 to leave something at home. And truthfully, this is what I think being a lightweight or an ultralight backpacker is all about. So ask yourself, do I need this and am I actually gonna use it? So personally, I leave items at home like camp chairs and books and games and camp lights and things like that. Now you can bring whatever you want on your backpacking trips. All I'm saying is if you're not gonna use it or it's not necessary for the trip, I would leave it at home to save weight. So Ultralight upgrade number 12 costs absolutely nothing. Practice minimalism, only bring what you need. And I'm gonna wrap it up here. Let me know in the comments below if you're gonna be making any of these upgrades to your backpacking kit. Make sure you subscribe to the channel for more backpacking and ultralight content. And if you found this video helpful, please leave a like, a comment, and subscribe. It helps me out a ton. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you on the next one. Bye, everybody.